This weekend at WWE Saturday Night's main event, we are set to crown a brand new WWE World Heavyweight Champion after Seth Rollins was forced to vacate the title due to injury. In this countdown video, we're going to discuss who is likely to become the World Heavyweight Champion this weekend, as well as the next champions in the future. We're going to be discussing who is potentially the several next world champions in this countdown video. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling, and today we're going to be talking about the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, a title that is currently in flux right now because it doesn't have a title holder. The prior champion, Seth Rollins, he was injured during his men's Crown Jewel Championship match against Cody Rhodes at Crown Jewel Perth. He was subsequently attacked by his faction, The Vision, written off television, and stripped of the WWE World Heavyweight Championship in the process. This coming Saturday at Saturday Night's main event, we're going to be having a World Heavyweight Championship match between Jey Uso and CM Punk for the vacant World Championship, and we'll find out who indeed is going to be the next World Champion. But we're also going to think several steps ahead and say who else could be the World Champion before this year is done and possibly into early 2026. We're going to be discussing 5 potential next World Champions in WWE. Let's begin with CM Punk, possibly the favorite to win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship this weekend at Saturday Night's main event on Peacock, because of course Punk was the original number 1 contender for Rollins World Heavyweight Championship. He won a triple threat match on the Raw from Perth, Australia, the very same actual Monday Night Raw that Seth Rollins was attacked by Bron Breakker and Big Bronson Reed. The Division turning on him was a way to write Rollins off of television, but there was a general feeling, wasn't there, that Seth Rollins' World Heavyweight Championship reign actually might come to an end at the hands of CM Punk anyway. They've been feuding on and off since CM Punk returned to WWE in November of 2023. CM Punk, of course, defeated Gunther in the main event of SummerSlam Saturday to win the World Heavyweight Championship, his first title since returning to WWE in 2023, his first world title as well since returning to WWE in 2023. And you never know when it comes to a wrestler that's older like CM Punk. Of course, he's in his over mid-40s at this point in time, and you can kind of have wrestlers go down 2 different paths, can't you? You can go down the path of someone like a Shawn Michaels, who when he returned to in-ring competition back in 2002, after that he became the World Heavyweight Champion once at the end of 2002, but after that he said, look, I don't want to be a WWE champion. I don't want to be the World Heavyweight Champion. I'm a part-time guy. I'm not making all of the towns, and I just don't need the title anymore. I can be in World Championship matches, and Lord knows Shawn Michaels was in several WWE or World Heavyweight Championship matches against the likes of Triple H, John Cena, Randy Orton, and others, but he didn't need to be World Champion. Or you can go down the route of someone like The Undertaker, who had several world title reigns very late on in his career whilst he was a part-time superstar on WWE SmackDown. Which route CM Punk is going to go? Well, we don't really know. This is a time which WWE has lost star power. They've got injuries. On top of that, they've got retirements. John Cena's coming up to retire in December in a couple of months' time. AJ Styles is going to be retiring at the beginning of 2026, or certainly not long into 2026. And you've got several stars away, and there needs to be another top babyface that can hold a world title that isn't Cody Rhodes in WWE. Maybe CM Punk is that. He's pretty much a full-time superstar at this point. Live events aren't as rigorous as they used to be. So Punk being the next world champion and holding the title and possibly feuding with the Vision, that makes a lot of sense to me. So I think CM Punk could not only be the next world champion, I think he could be possibly considered the favourite ahead of Saturday Night's main event this coming weekend. Now, before we move on to the next name on this countdown list, a reminder, this video is brought to you in collaboration with all of our great affiliates. That includes NordVPN. You can see them right there in the sidebar. And as I mentioned, it is Saturday Night's main event this coming weekend. And if you're in the United States, you can't watch these shows on NBC anymore. Now, there's this new media rights deal in play, which has seen all WWE PLEs move from Peacock over to ESPN. Part of that new deal was that Saturday Night's main event, which previously was on NBC but also streaming live on Peacock, it's only going to be available on Peacock now. But if you don't have a Peacock subscription, you're going, well, how am I going to watch the show this weekend? Well, perhaps you can watch it for free on YouTube. That's right. Over here in the UK, We watch every Saturday night's main event for free on WWE's YouTube channel, and you can too. All you've got to do is get a VPN. You can see it right there. You can use our code. You can use our link. You can see the QR code which you can scan, or you can visit our custom link. That's nordvpn.com/WN365. Once again, that's nordvpn.com/WN365. If you're in the United States, you can get up to 77% off plus 3 months extra. But fail not, if you're not in the US and you're thinking, well, am I going to save any money? You absolutely will. You can find out all the information in the video description below. Save yourself some money. Also, you can watch every other bit of WWE content for a Netflix subscription when you change your location to an international territory like here in the UK. So what's to lose? So be sure to utilize that. It supports the channel and you can save yourself in the money. Your support is truly greatly appreciated. The next name on this countdown list is Jey Uso, of course, CM Punk's opponent at WWE Saturday night's main event this coming weekend. Now, Uso is a former World Heavyweight Champion in his own right. He won his first singles World Championship earlier this year, defeating Gunther in the opening match of WrestleMania 41 weekend in Las Vegas. On top of that, he won the Royal Rumble match, which earned him that opportunity, last eliminating John Cena. But even though it's been a landmark year for main event Jey, it's been a divisive one, certainly. There was criticism from WWE fans of the booking of Jey Uso to win the men's Royal Rumble, suggesting that should have been John Cena, and main event Jey wasn't good enough to be featured in that spot. Going into WrestleMania, there was a lot of doubts about whether or not he should be in a highlighted match, in a big match for a world title at WrestleMania. Then people were questioning in-ring performance coming out of WrestleMania as the world champion. There was criticism suggesting that his World Heavyweight Championship reign really didn't do anything that much, and there is a bit of a problem when it comes to Jey Uso in the sense of, yes, his entrance is very, very popular, and in terms of a look that can go viral, it's incredibly appealing. Everyone dancing and singing along and yeeting, that's great. Yes, he sells a ton of merchandise. Yes, he's got a great catchphrase, but then when he's got to cut a promo, he's out of breath from doing the entrance, and when he's got to have a match, he's still out of breath from doing the entrance, so much so that the matches aren't that great. When it comes to Jey Uso even being involved in this match at Saturday night's main event this coming weekend, the YouTube video, which demonstrated him winning the Battle Royal to qualify for that World Heavyweight title match at Saturday night's main event, is one of the most disliked videos in recent WWE history. So is it even the right move? It could possibly be the right move if they lean in to this negative feedback. Maybe the Yeet Man becomes a heel. But then would they be, I guess, cannibalizing the situation of his great merch sales and his great catchphrase and his entrance? Is WWE willing to sacrifice that? Time will tell, but Uso, you feel like probably does have at least one more world title reign in him in the near future. Maybe it's going to begin as soon as this weekend's Saturday night's main event. Next up, Bron Breakker. Now, when we talk about Bron Breakker, this felt like someone who was assured to possibly be the next WWE World Heavyweight Champion. We know that when it comes to the Vision, when it comes to the faction previously led by Seth Rollins, now by Paul Heyman, the Vision wasn't really about Seth Rollins. The Vision wasn't about, highlighting and putting Seth Rollins as a centerpiece. Maybe people might have thought that was the case, but it's not. The Vision faction has always been about one person, and that one person is Bron Breakker. It's about cementing him and highlighting him enough that WWE fans and just, general fans get to know Bron Breakker better, and they are establishing him as the next big thing. It's something that Paul Heyman himself has said on several occasions in promos, even going back to when Bron Breakker was in NXT. It was speculated and reported that Paul Heyman had been working extensively with the former NXT champion. He'd been earmarked by Heyman and others within WWE as really a future main eventer and maybe the heir apparent to Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes as the next face of the company. And there are already plans, according to recent reports, for Bron Breakker to be the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, but those plans don't include happening right now. Because many people said, well, Rollins is injured. You've not got the title on Rollins. Just put it on Bron Breakker. Move plans up a little bit early. Put the title on him. He was carrying the championship on Raw a couple of weeks ago, and everyone said, actually, you know what? That title looks fantastic on Bron Breakker. Put the belt on him. Seemingly, WWE feel like he's not ready just yet, or they want to do it at a more highlighted and featured moment, whether that's, the Royal Rumble, or whether that's next year's WrestleMania. Time will only tell when Bron Breakker will hold the World Heavyweight Championship. But you notice that I used the word will because Bron Breakker is going to be a WWE World Heavyweight Champion. It's just a matter of time. It's not a matter of if. It's a matter of when he's going to be the next World Champion. It's not going to be as soon as this weekend, Saturday night's main event. Could it be before the end of the year, perhaps? Could it be next year's WrestleMania? Could he win maybe the Royal Rumble and then maybe go up against a CM Punk or something like that in the main event, and Punk put over a next big face of WWE? That's entirely possible. And I think that's a situation they could go in. But Bron Breakker, before, I guess, the next 12 months is up, I'm going to say he will be a WWE World Heavyweight Champion. I'm pretty certain of that. Next up, we have LA Knight. Yeah. Now, LA Knight is someone that you feel like maybe he should have been a world champion already. He's had, I guess, the misfortune to be on SmackDown for the last several years. And during that time, look who the champions have been of that brand. First of all, you had Roman Reigns, who was the undisputed WWE Universal Champion. And it had to be someone extremely special for him to drop the championship to, and it was actually Cody Rhodes. And I think actually him dropping the championship came sooner than originally planned, because of course he was going to face The Rock at WrestleMania 40 originally, even though LA Knight did have an undisputed Universal Championship match against Roman Reigns at one point. But because of his popularity, because of his mic work, and because of his merchandise sales, people have said, well, if you're doing that with Jey Uso, maybe why wouldn't you have LA Knight as a WWE World Heavyweight Champion? Knight's matches are arguably better than Jey Uso. Maybe that's the one part that maybe lets LA Knight down, is his in-ring isn't as good as maybe others, but he's got star power, he's got charisma. There's been questions about whether he's maybe too old to be a world champion, but I think in this day and age, that doesn't really mean all that much. And he's got the look of someone that could be and should be a world champion. And actually, when he was moved over to Raw from SmackDown, it had a lot of people very much excited, because they were saying, finally, this feels like the brand in which LA Knight can become a world champion. On SmackDown, you've got Cody Rhodes, right? He's been on a brand where the world champions have been Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. He's not going to be a world champion on that show, particularly as a babyface. He goes over to Raw. It doesn't look like he's having a heel turn anytime soon, does it? So he's sticking to a babyface, which makes sense, because again, he's incredibly over with the audience. On top of that as well, he's selling a ton of merchandise. His catchphrase is over. So he can absolutely be a world champion as a babyface on Monday Night Raw. I think that's entirely viable and possible. So maybe not completely soon, as in this weekend or by the end of the year, but I think in 2026 there could be a real reality where LA Knight wins his first world championship in WWE, and frankly, it's a bit overdue, isn't it? He's been very popular for several years at this point. He deserves at least one world title reign in WWE before all is said and done. And finally, someone that could win the world championship on Raw. What about Roman Reigns? Roman Reigns as a world champion is interesting, because you'll say, Owen, he just held the undisputed WWE Universal Championship for about 3 years, right? Maybe even longer. It was 4 years, wasn't it? It was 2020 into early 2024, so about 3 and a bit years. Why would you put the World Championship on him? Because it worked. When it comes to that undisputed WWE Universal Championship reign of 3+ years, that was during a time in which it was initially in the pandemic, helped WWE in the pandemic, coming out of the pandemic. On top of that, it led to WWE doing some of their best ever business when Triple H took over creative in 2022 into 2023 and early 2024. That's the entire time that Roman Reigns is the undisputed WWE Universal Champion. And when it comes to WWE, look, there's been criticism of Triple H and his booking this year. There's been criticism that it's not what it was a couple of years ago, and the hype isn't there, the creative isn't there, they're selling tickets still, and very expensive tickets, but in terms of the ratings, they're not maybe doing the ratings that they were with Roman Reigns, and maybe it would be smart, particularly when it comes to Netflix, to put the World Championship on Roman Reigns, even if it is for a short time, possibly going into WrestleMania next year and have a big main event of one of the nights of WrestleMania with Roman Reigns defending the World Heavyweight Championship, a title which, by the way, he's never held. The World Heavyweight Championship was established because Roman Reigns was the part-time Universal Champion, so they needed a second World Championship, and they decided to rechristen, or I guess resurrect, the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And Roman Reigns, former Shield stablemate, and Seth Rollins was the first champion. So I don't think you can rule out the possibility of OTC, OTC1, the Tribal Chief, the head of the table, all of those nicknames, being a future world champion. I think the championship would look pretty great on Roman Reigns as well. It kind of feels like he's kind of floundering a little bit when it comes to stuff to do on Raw that isn't involved in bloodline work, and maybe put him back in the World Heavyweight Championship picture. Why not? Even if it's just he wins the title, holds it for a short period of time, and then puts over maybe a Braun Breaker in the future. That could be something that could be certainly very interesting and worth watching. So there you go, guys. There are 5 possible next WWE World Heavyweight Champions. What are your thoughts? Let me know your reactions, your predictions, your hot takes, as always, in the comment section below. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right-hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.